following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yes. It does not matter who I am. What matters is who you are, because that's the important portion as we do the things that we get to do around here. Anyways, how are you? I hope you are having a fantastic Monday. Yes, a fantastic Monday, but that would have been yesterday because today's Tuesday, October the 25th of 2022, day 298th of the year, and only 67 days remaining. Oh yes, we are live and in living color. It is 1 minute past the top of the hour is what I'm showing. So anyways, how was your Monday? Was it fantastic? Was it marvelous? Was it things that you wanted to be braggadocious about? Yes, I do say braggadocious because you have to be braggy sometimes. Yes, I do agree with that comment. Anyways, we are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues at that other place that we do stuff at.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Oh, yes, hanging out with our friends at Radio Big.FM. Yes, totally new revamped website. And then you probably might have noticed something a little bit different this morning if you were doing the video stuff. And you did noticing that we do have the Jay Allen of the Morning stuff now kind of incorporated on the branding at the very beginning, because essentially this is hour one of the Jay Allen of the Morning show on Radio Big. So the Rated R Safety Show is kind of all combined into the mess. So we kind of figured, hey, let's talk about it a little bit more, even though with the stuff that we play around here, I'm pretty sure you already came to that realization a long time ago. But I think that whoever we talked to around here said, we need to make it more deadly obvious. So I guess now it's more deadly obvious. So anyways, with that being said, a lot of stuff going on this morning. If you want to hang out inside of the box and call in and do all that fun stuff, you can do so by going to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. I'll get you moving and grooving into our video system where we have everything going in. That's video, that's audio, and that is messaging. A little bit easier to do it in that particular format. There's so many things I want to talk about things that happened last night on the radio. Yeah, in the radio world that I was playing around with, but I'm not sure if we should talk about that right now. Maybe. But I can tell you this, because if you are watching this for the aspect of safety, I got it. I got some new stuff. I got some new stuff last night about this event, the Safety Differently event that is occurring first quarter of 2023. I can tell you that yesterday I was given information about venue. So I will tell you that I will be shocked, and I'm going to say shocked, that if by the end of the week there might not be some ticketing options available. So just so you know, that's the Safety Differently conference coming in at the first quarter of 2023. Information available at safetyfm.io. Anyways, with that being said, there's a lot of stuff going on inside of this world. So why don't we start talking immediately about the things that were, well, I guess essentially trending last night.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so what is going on? Leslie Jordan was trending after news broke of his death. We can talk a little bit more about that if you'd like. Also, hashtag Ant-Man and the Wasp Quarantumania Yeah. Landed on Twitter's top 10 trends on Monday after Marvel dropped a new trailer for the upcoming film. Twitterverse reacted to McDonald's announcements regarding to the McFavorite meal of the McRib. We can talk a little bit more about that here in just a moment. And then hashtag Red Ribbon Week 2022 was trending yesterday as classes around the country pledged to lead a drug-free lives. Now, I have a question about that. When you say that you are going to pledge a drug-free life, it's good. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you're going to be drug-free, depending on how you're deeming drugs, of course. But the other side to the equation here would be this. When you say that you're drug-free, does this include pharmaceutical drugs or prescriptions or anything that you get over the counter? It's not very versatile what that actually says. So anyways, on this show, we talk about safety, we talk about the news, we talk about the news and safety, do a combination of everything right there. And then we come back, I kind of give you some main story stuff, give you the bow, give you the stuff, and then we kind of move on with life and what's going on. And then hour 2, we do the Jay Allen in the Morning Show, fully rendition version if you hang out for hour 2, which is only normally on RadioBig.fm. Not counting iHeartRadio, iTunes, and all that other stuff. But I'm talking about that. That's why we do hour 2. Hour 1 is simulcast on Safety FM because that's what we're doing. We're simulcasting on Safety FM at the same time as we're doing this because this is where we talk about safety. And safety is what Safety FM is all about. So that kind of makes it an easy aspect on doing that. Anyways, with that being said, and us talking about this, and us moving and grooving and doing all the fun stuff that we get to do, here is what's going to happen in the next few moments. We're going to bring in the pro broadcasters. They're going to talk about what the hell's going on inside of the world of the news, and we're all going to like it. Okay, maybe we're not going to like it, but we're definitely going to take a listen to it. So with that being said, why don't we do that? Why don't we bring in the pro broadcasters and go from there?
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. There are just 2 weeks until voters head to the polls for the midterm elections. Most recent polls have Republicans winning the majority in the House, while the Senate appears to be up for grabs. A federal court in Phoenix will take up a request today for a temporary restraining order against a group accused of coordinating a voter intimidation campaign in Arizona.
The basic facts of the complaint are simple, which is that we now have vigilantes, some of whom are armed, intimidating voters from casting their ballots in a legal way.
That's Mark Elias, an election lawyer and founder of Democracy Docket. His group filed the request Monday evening. Arizona Alliance for Retired Americans and Voto Latino accuse Clean Elections USA and its founder Melody Jennings of violating federal election laws. The lawsuit comes after voters submitted 3 complaints to state election officials. They say people photographed their license plates as they went to cast their ballots in voter drop boxes, and one claimed a voter was called a mule, a reference to a fringe voter conspiracy theory. Western allies are accusing Russia of using the threat of a dirty bomb as a pretext to escalate the war in Ukraine. Cal Perry with more.
These so-called dirty bombs are easier to deploy. The delivery system could be in the form of a backpack, not a rocket. The United States, for years, feared terror groups like ISIS would use these crude devices.
Russian officials have been on the phone with their counterparts in the West, warning that Ukraine is planning to use a bomb laced with nuclear material on their own territory. Actor and comedian Leslie Jordan has died.
Karen Walker. I thought I smelled gin and regret.
TMZ reports he appeared to suffer a medical emergency before crashing his BMW into the side of a building in Hollywood, California Monday morning. Jordan was famous for his work on TV shows like Will and Grace. His comedic foil on Will and Grace, Megan Mullally, said on social media, "My heart is breaking." Leslie Jordan was 67. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Feature story news in London. I'm Ollie Barrett. Rishi Sunak becomes the UK's third minister this year. On Tuesday, the International Atomic Energy Agency says it will send teams to 2 sites in Ukraine at the request of Kiev. Japan's economy ministers stepped down after getting embroiled in a scandal over ties with the Unification Church, and pollution levels have spiked in New Delhi as residents defied a ban on firecrackers during Diwali.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Kanye West is once again being ditched by his divorce lawyers. This time it's for anti-Semitic rants. Trey Thomas reports.
Bernard Claire and Bob Cohen have said their firm is no longer representing Ye after he said he was going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Other collaborators like Vogue, Gap, and Balenciaga have also stopped working with the artist formerly known as Kanye after his social media tirade. I'm Trey Thomas.
A majority of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Mark Mayfield with more.
That's according to a new report out by Lending Club. The financial services company found 63% of Americans struggled to keep up with the pace of inflation, including 49% of six-figure earners. Lending Club's financial health officer explained that being employed is no longer enough for the everyday American, and wage growth has been inadequate. As a result, many Americans have dipped into their savings or gone into debt.
The U.S. and Mexico have signed the agreement to split toll money with the new border crossing in San Diego. The latest from Jack Cronin.
After a vote in San Diego earlier this month, the official agreement has been signed in Mexico City, with the two countries splitting approximately $7 billion in toll revenue from the new Otay Mesa East port of entry over the next 40 years. San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria is the vice chair of the San Diego Association of Governments.
This project has tremendous economic benefits for Mexico and for the United States. It will certainly mean jobs, greater economic output, higher wages, more supply opportunities and products to sell on both sides of the border. It will drive down cross-border wait times, meaning less emissions into our air.
The third border crossing in San Diego is set to open by the end of 2024.
Taylor Swift's new album, Midnights, is already a hit, becoming the top-selling album of the year in just one day of sales. Swift stopped by The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon on Monday night for a chat, and she hinted that there are some concerts to come. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have any body to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobilemobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello. You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, there you go. 17 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this marvelous Tuesday, which doesn't make any sense when you try to rhyme the words together, but that is for sure. So a lot of stuff still going on, and we need to talk about some things that are happening out there inside of the world. So we did briefly reference this at the top, so let's talk a little bit more. But McDonald's says this season's release of the McRib will be its farewell tour, suggesting that it's the last time to buy the annual offering. Worth noting, this isn't also the first time that the Arches had said the last chance to get the sandwich, and then it made the pressed pork product and the abundance of barbecue sauce. To check the availability near you, all you have to do is go to McRibLocator.com. I've never understood the big deal about this sandwich. I've tried it out. Not been very impressed by what the sandwich has to offer, unless you like barbecue sauce on a piece of bread, because there's not really much meat there. And once you figure out that it is not meat, what the hell are you really eating?
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
So you think you're having a bad week? Well, let me share some stuff with you. A man accidentally shot himself in the leg amid a bear attack in Wyoming over the weekend. Lee Francis was hunting with his son near the Grand Teton National Park when a grizzly approached him. Francis fired rounds from his handgun. It's unclear whether he aimed at the bear or he was just warning shots. But in doing so, he managed to get a plug inside of himself, right there in the leggy-eggy. Fortunately, his son had a satellite phone, which that's important nowadays, which he used to call for help. Eventually, a helicopter took Francis to the hospital, though no word yet on how he's doing. Wildlife officials say that they couldn't locate the bear in question. So here's my question. If they couldn't locate the bear in question, do you think the dude accidentally shot himself? They just made up some weird-ass story about what the hell was going on? I'm just asking, because it's kind of weird. That you would think that there was a bear and nobody was able to locate it.
Who truly cares what this guy has to say? Who gives a shit? Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, Amazon appears to have again shut down another labor organization movement before it could build too much steam. This time it was happening in California. Just 2 weeks ago, organizers filed paperwork with the National Labor Relations Board to hold a vote to unionize the 800 or some staff at the Fulfillment Center in Moreno Valley, California. Without explanation, the effort was withdrawn on Monday. It was just withdrawn. Hey, that movement we were trying to do, let's just go ahead and stop it. Amazon has been scolded by the National Labor Organization for meddling with unions. efforts before. So, but now yet no word on what went down during this case. So I don't get it. Now, of course, this is allegedly that they were meddling. Not on the previous one, but allegedly on this one. And listen, let's be realistic. I am an Amazon shopper. I'm sure that you're an Amazon shopper. And it's kind of weird on how they hold some of these things going forward. It's a weird feel. It's a weird seg on how some of this stuff happens. Just something to think about. Anyways, let's talk about this. A Spanish man backpacking through the Middle East en route to the World Cup in Qatar has disappeared after crossing into Iran. Santiago Sanchez is 41 and an experienced adventurer with a military background who had been seen sharing updates about his trek on Instagram over the last 9 months. Since crossing the border from Iraq to Iran on October the 2nd, his family says that they haven't heard anything from him. Worth noting, domestic protests have intensified against the Iranian regime in recent weeks after a 22-year-old woman died in police custody at the hospital after being arrested for not wearing a hijab. To date, at least 201 people have been confirmed killed by the Iranian police amid the turmoil. So what do you think about this? It's some stuff to think about for sure. But what's your thought process? Like, what comes to mind the moment that you hear a story like this? Because it gets kind of weird. It gets kind of weird that all of a sudden this experienced man, military background, apparently sharing his life in particular about this trip for the last 9 months or so, and all of a sudden disappearance act. Just a little info right there. Anyways, let me bring this up just for the sake of talking about it. Today is, just in case you don't know, is Tuesday the 25th. In 2 days, if you are in the Central Florida area, I will advise you to come on down to the Plaza Hotel, the Rosen Plaza Hotel, that is. They will be having Safety Day 2022, in case you did not know this, put forward by the Alliance of Central Florida Safety, or ACFS might be the easiest way to do it. And what it is a full day. It's an event for a full day of safety topics, safety things to talk about. And they charge $30. Yes, 30. If you wait till the day of the event to buy the ticket at the door, it's $50. But if you go prior to acfs.org and purchase Le Ticket, you can get in for $30. And they have quite a few speakers. And there are CEUs available by my adventurous friends at the American Society of Safety Professionals. How you doing? So they will provide you CEUs for attending the conference. I think you have to ask for them, though, for them to put a little marker on there to make sure that that you know that that's what you requested. So just some information there. Let's continue talking. Nearly half of the students and faculty of the Virginia High School called out sick on Friday after experiencing severe gastrointestinal distress with no certainty yet on what caused it. Maybe it was caused by some moisture. Officials estimate about 1,000 students were laid up on late last week, prompting that NBC News call a deep cleaning and disinfecting of the school. Other schools in the area did have a similar situation. A preliminary review of the food service and drinking fountains didn't reveal an obvious culprit yet either. So that makes it pretty interesting. Can you imagine that all of a sudden you have about 1,000 people that call out? Yeah, I mean, you would think that skip day is occurring early, when all of a sudden you got 1,000 people in a high school that are saying, But imagine that. Could you imagine what kind of order that would have been with all the fun stuff there?
It's this show, and they just make fun of a whole bunch of people. It's just too funny. It's too stupid.
Rated R Safety Show.
Hey, I'm just, I think I was just stating the obvious. I don't think I said anything that was off kilter there. I mean, what do you think? Or did I take it too far? I don't know. Maybe they were taking it too far. Anyways, with that being said, I think it's time to bring in some John Small and let him tell us about what the hell is going on inside of the world of the market.
Market Beat Minute for Tuesday, October 25th, 2022. Equities markets tried to come out of the gates strong this week with the S&P 500 up on Monday. The move is driven by anticipation of better than expected earnings as the peak of the Q3 reporting season gets underway. This week is the busiest week of the reporting cycle and should bring well over 125 reports from S&P 500 companies. The takeaway is that by the end of the week, there will be little doubt as to the health of the S&P 500's earning power. Also on tap this week, the PCE price index will be released on Friday, and it is expected to cool considerably from the previous month. The risk is that another round of hot data will force the FOMC into another 75 basis point interest rate hike and push the U.S. closer to a recession. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at MarketBeatMinute.com.
Okay, thank you, Johnny Smalls, for that information right there on what exactly is going on inside of the world of the market. Let me tell you a little bit about what I was able to locate. The Dow added about 417 points on Monday to close at 31,499. The S&P added about 45 points to close at 3,797, and the NASDAQ added 92 points to close at 10,952. West Texas Intermediate closed at $84 on Monday. Brent crude closed at 91. Yeah, 91. The national average of the gallon of a price of gas, a gas by the gallon was $3.79 on Monday. And Bitcoin lost about $200 during the day on Monday, trading at 19,300 buckaroos. And yesterday seemed like a terrible day to travel. Here you go. Take a listen to this. There were 4,529 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States, and about 136 such cancellations. So you have already taken a listen that Taylor Swift's new album is already going to be album of the year, and we're in late October, and we're already talking about this. So let's talk about the top 5 songs according to the charts, based on iTunes and Spotify. So coming in at iTunes at number 5 was Taylor Swift with The Great War. At number 4 was Sam Smith and Kim Petras with Unholy. At number 3, at number 2, and number 1 was all Taylor Swift again. Number 3 was Anti-Hero. Number 2 was Would've, Could've, Should've. And at number 1 was Bigger Than the Whole Sky. So there you go. That was the charts for good old iTunes. Now, if you take it to the other side and go to Spotify, and number 5 was Harry Styles, was As It Was. And number 4 was David Guetta with I'm Good. And number 3 was Sam Smith and Kim Petras with Unholy. And number 2 was Rema and Selena Gomez with Calm Down. Calm It Down. And at the number 1 spot, according to Spotify, was Anti-Hero by Taylor Swift. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on right there. Anyways, why are people sending me, like laughing stickers? Like, what's going on here? What did I miss? Did something fall? Did something drop? Did I miss something? Good to know. So anyways, currently 30 minutes past the top of the, no, I lied. It's 29 minutes past the top of the hour. I'm looking at that clock, which is about a minute fast. I should know this. Before I say this out loud. But by the time that you heard me say that it was 30 minutes past the top of the hour, which meant 29 minutes past the top of the hour, because of the delay on this thing, it's probably the time that I said it was. I know, it gets kind of confusing. I'm supposed to remember all that stuff as I am talking. So take a listen to this. Former President Barack Obama says that there are similarities in the way the national media covers politics and professional sports. Michael Kastner has more.
Explained his opinion to retired NFL quarterback hosts and brothers Peyton and Eli Manning on ESPN's Manningcast Monday night. The former president said with both political and sports coverage, people are looking to create controversy, which he called clickbait that attracts attention. Obama said most people are trying to figure out how to do right by their families, and when they don't participate, they leave it to the folks whose business it is to divide. I'm Michael Kastner.
Okay, somebody told me a long time ago that controversy creates cash. Is that not the case? Okay, anyways, take a listen to this. A Subway writer is dead after getting dragged by the train in Manhattan yesterday when his clothing got stuck in the door. The subway riders are reacting.
It's sad. Like, don't jump on a train before you know you really got it. Yeah.
Hold on. Did you just say don't jump on a train before you know you really got it? Anyways, police say that the victim was trying to get onto a number 1 train in the 59th Street of Columbus Circle station during the afternoon rush when the doors were closing. He got his clothing stuck in the door when he was dragged and hit by another train. It's not clear why the doors didn't automatically reopen while the clothing was stuck. So there you go. Single point of failure system that did not react on the way that people were expecting. I'm sure we're going to hear some more about this. Anyways, in an event that was supposed to be a feature of the founder of the Proud Boys at Penn State was canceled. Student Carolina Whelan supports the decision.
You don't want to see on your college campus what they're talking about or racist or this or that. But again, I think it's just beautiful, the people that are standing up for what they believe in, the people that are fighting for what's right, and the people that are using their voice for those who don't have one.
Okay, University police said they prevented the scheduled Monday night event from happening because of the threat of escalating violence. Proud Boy founders Gavin McNeils is far-right commentator who started a group. Opponents say that his organization promotes violence and hate speech. So there you go. You know, it's kind of interesting. Taking a look around and going about what the hell's going on with some of this stuff. When people say, okay, we are promoting violence and hate speech when it comes to certain things. Because it makes you question some stuff on what is going on. So, I don't know. It makes it an interesting world as we are talking. Anyways, currently 32 minutes past the top of the hour. I think we are close enough to do that thing that we do around this time. So, let's go ahead and get into the stories of stories known as the main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
So it's interesting the phone calls that I get. It's interesting the conversations I get to have. It is interesting to hear what is going on inside of organizations over and over again. And I guess, because it is a guessing thing that I'm going to say next, with the amount of stuff that I get to do, it amazes me on the things that people still believe that they can get away with or that they think that is okay. And I don't know on how we are in 2022 and people still in the workplace think that it's okay to catcall when they see a female. They think it's okay to believe that social media, LinkedIn in particular, is a dating website. And this is the most amazing one to me on how some women are treated on construction sites. Now, I'm not picking on construction workers. I can just tell you where I have heard a lot of this happening. But we'll talk about this in work in general. So yesterday afternoon, I'm having a conversation, and there is this discussion that comes up. There is a young lady that is taking a look around on this construction site, and she climbs a ladder as she's there, taking a look at something that's being pointed out, and someone walks by, male, and decides to, as she's up there, to pat her on her bottom or her buttocks, as one may say, while she was standing there and thought that it was not an inappropriate action. Not an inappropriate action of what was going on. Now, listen, I don't know if you work with your spouse. I don't know if you work with your significant other. I don't care what's going on. That is just not acceptable at all. Now, the person was not happy about it. The person was not happy that this had occurred. And was asking me the question of what should be done next. So, of course, my questions automatically became, what did you do? Was there anybody around? What was said? And the person did it and just kind of smiled and kept on walking. And she was nervous because she is a newer safety professional and wasn't sure what to do. So, of course, I gave my points of advice of what I would do and to make sure that they were able to wrangle in any of the onlookers that saw this happen. The portion here is that they are a new safety professional, and this person that did this is an established person inside of the organization, so she has a level of fear. Now, I did ask the question if this was something that I could talk about, because I'm not that kind of asshole that just starts randomly talking about something without, being okay with it, just in case the person gets a little weirded out about me talking about this. Now, I don't understand why people think that this is okay to do. At no point have I ever been on a job site that I said, oh, yeah, there's a person there. I think I should go up there and touch their butt because that seems like a cool thing to do. I don't understand some of these advancements that occur at work that people think that that's okay to do. I mean, at no point do I understand this. Like, I am so paranoid about anything that goes on. I don't like people hugging me. I don't like people touching me because I get freaked out about all these things that I've seen. And understandably so. And I think that if somebody's standing there doing work on a ladder, taking a look at something that they needed to see closer, and you randomly, touching their rear end and thinking that it's kind of a cute joke, that is not a joke and it's not fun, and you are doing something that is considered inappropriate. And if you are still living in a land where you think that that is not, maybe it's time for us to have a conversation. A lot of world of the strange still occurring out there with some of these things. And some people might look at this and go, well, it's not that big of a deal. No, it's a huge deal. Imagine somebody touching you inappropriately and you did not want that. Make it matters worse. Imagine that this is your kid and this is their first experience in the professional world, something out of the norm. A lot of things to think about. What would you do if something like this occurred to you? Has HR already been involved with what you're doing? Of course, my recommendation was talk to HR. Things don't happen. There's other methods and mechanisms to move forward with. The fear, of course, is HR cares about the company, not so much about the people. But this is supposedly a highly prominent person inside of the organization. A couple of different ways to do it. Start off with HR. That doesn't work. There's other legal options that are available. Sorry to put it that way. Just the fashion that things work. Think about that. I'm not giving you the oops today because I'm not oopsing out on that one. I stand by what I say, no doubt about it.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
So, do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now? That live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and were not 100% sure on what they meant. Things is mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
Something good. I think we're onto something good. Don't let it get away. This could be everything.
Oh, there you go. This is the Rated R Safety Show. 44 minutes, or really 43 minutes past the top of the hour. 43 minutes past. You're still hanging and banging here on Radio Big and Safety FM. We are still doing our thing. This is freaking Foxes on top of something. So there you go, onto something. Apparently I said on top of something. What the hell was I thinking? This is freaking Foxes. This song's readily available on Spotify and iTunes. If you want to take a little download-y-ody of what the hell's going on there. Because that makes it fun. So thanks to freaking Foxes for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. I think they're onto something good as well. Oh, let's get into it because TikTok, we're running out of time. Well, we're running out of time in hour one. Let's put it to you that way. If you want to hang out for the 3 hours, you can do so by going to radiobig.fm. Available on iHeart Radio. Yeah, the live streaming stuff. We're available on iTunes. Yes, on the radio section under iTunes or Apple Music. Just ask for Radio Big. We'll pop up right there. And we're available on TuneIn if you want to listen to hour 2 and 3. After this show on Safety FM, you'll get a little bit of that Primus guy, because he's still in his prime. So there you go. Anyways, it's right now. It's time. It's time to talk about the most important thing that I'm ever going to tell you. And listen, it's the most important thing. Period. And I help out quite a few people. And this will still be the most important thing. It's not about money. It's not about relationships. It's about you. And it's about how you can find help if you need it. And that's about my friends, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. They can help you prevent suicide. The Lifeline provides 24/7 free and confidential support to people in distress, prevention and crisis resources for you or your loved ones. They also offer the best practices for professionals in the United States. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to 988lifeline.org. That's 988lifeline.org. You can text the word TALK to 988 or you can call 988 or also on the website 988lifeline.org. Just click on the chat box. That will get everything moving and grooving, get everybody talking, because it's important to talk about what the hell's going on. Like, seriously. There's always stuff going on inside of this lifetime, and there are things that need to be discussed, things that need to be addressed. There is no other way around this. Seriously. So let's keep that in mind as we are talking. 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You can find out more information at 988lifeline.org. Don't make the next move until you get in contact with them. So let's talk about this real quick. Let's talk about some downgraded. Yes, take a listen to this. A new study says that girls routinely get higher grades than boys, and this bias against boys could mean a difference between passing and failing in some subjects and keep them from to begin to be accepted in college and getting certain jobs. The results published by the British Journal of Sociology on Education shows that standardized tests, which are marked anonymously, girls typically outperform boys in humanities, languages, and reading skills, while boys did better in maths. And it does say maths. But when grades were awarded by teachers, girls did better than boys in all subjects. The author of the study said that the teachers unconsciously reward students who exhibit the traditional female behavior, such as quietness, neatness, because those students make teaching easier. They also suggest that inflated grades in math are the way of trying to encourage girls who are sometimes seen as weaker in this subject. Oh, that's a brave damn thing to say. Maybe they should think about teaching boys to shut up once in a while. Maybe that's something to think about. And, well, at least it's nice to know when I flunked all those classes, it wasn't anything personal. Because that's something to think about as we are talking as well. I can't believe that I'm getting breaking news in from Rolling Stones. Adidas on Tuesday ends its relationship with Kanye West following weeks of pressure over the rapper's anti-Semitic remarks. Like, this is breaking news coming in from Rolling Stones right now? I didn't realize that it was that important. I mean, yeah. Apparently some stuff is going on, but breaking news? Like, I got a notification across the board just for that. That's interesting. Oh, hold on. Do you want to hear the Omega update? Take a listen. Now, we already played this. We talked about it in our main news story. So there you go. Some stuff going on there. Let's talk some more, too, about some other things. Colorado Springs is dealing with at least 98 hospitalizations caused by RSV. It's an infectious disease and that's occurring in that area. The county's public health says that masking up and social distancing kept by many viruses at bay for the last 2 years, but they seem to be coming back in full swing. Take a listen to what the Dr. Albanese has to say.
Think about the possibility of COVID. We're worried about RSV or their enterovirus, particularly if it's in the pediatric age group. And now we're going to be needing to consider flu.
There's only been 8 hospitalizations for the flu, according to the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment. 8 of the RSV outbreaks took place in schools and child care facilities. All of these happened since the start of October. County health officials warned that the flu and cold season is only starting, so it's best to stay home if you feel sick. Teresa Hennings, a single mother, says that she's trying to keep her kids healthy, but it's challenging if they get sick?
It gets difficult since I'm the one doing it by myself, so I get no sick days. But I do everything I can to make sure my kids are taken care of when they're sick.
I'm kind of confused on that, on regards of what she's saying. It's kind of hard when they're sick. Well, yeah, that's what you're trying to avoid. So that's kind of a difficult thing to say because that's what you're trying to avoid. So how would that work? I don't know. Before I get into the weeds here, maybe it's time to do let's go ahead and do the Motivation Minute because I just know I'm going to enter Pandora's box with that one.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Jason. Charles Spurgeon said, "If faith asks, it will receive. If hope seeks, it will find. And if love knocks, the door will be open to it." I love this quote. So many times, it is as simple as asking. A friend was going to law school back in the 1990s. He and dozens of other law students in his class all applied for a single open internship at a law office near the school. This law office had a reputation for helping their interns in amazing ways. Many of them ended up working at the firm after graduation. My friend applied, and then a few days later, he called to see if they had chosen their intern. He was selected. Why? Because he was the very first one to follow up. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by AlessaMorgan.com. There are several things you can do to optimize your workspace and maximize productivity. And the following 2 things are the easiest adjustments to consider for better alertness. First, it's important to make sure our visual focus is aligned correctly. The way it works, when we look up, we don't just trigger the neurons to execute the movement of looking up, we also trigger them for more alertness and focus. So if you're looking to maintain the maximum amount of focus, it's important to have your screen positioned slightly above the eye level instead of below like most of us do with our laptops. It's also helpful to have as much bright light as safely possible, especially within the first 8 hours after waking up, to maintain activity with dopamine, norepinephrine, epinephrine, and healthy levels of cortisol. For more tips on wellness, check out AlessaMorgan.com.
It's the show, and they just make fun of a whole bunch of people. It's just too funny. It's too stupid.
Rated R Safety Show.
Why is it considered too stupid? Have you not seen the host? Oh, hold on. That would be me. So anyways, 53 minutes past the top of the hour. Going on into the beginning. We're about on the verge of hour 2 if you hang out on radiobig.fm. So there you go. That's some stuff going on right there. Let's take a look-see around about some other things that are going on inside of this world. Let's talk about this. El Monte Police Chief Ben Lowry is dead at the age of 45. Friends remembered Lowry on Monday night at his memorial. Take a listen.
A great person. He was a very caring individual. He was somebody who listened to every community member, took their concerns in, and tried to do the best that he could to help everyone out. He was a very great person.
Lowry died Monday due to what El Monte Police Department is calling health issues. He had been with the department for 20 years. Lowry named the interim chief last December and was officially appointed chief in June. The department held a procession for the chief Lowry on Monday night. So there you go. Sorry to hear about what is going on there. That is just terrible news as we are talking. Let's see, the Kankakee High School teacher is out of a job after she was caught on video calling a student the N-word in a class last week. Superintendent Jen Rob Walters discusses the situation last night at the school district's 111 school board. Unanimously voted that to fire the algebra teacher, John Donovan.
Absolutely nothing that any student can do to deserve having that word used against them.
The incident happened after Donovan kicked a sophomore, Michael Nelson Jr., out of the class. The incident was recorded by a student. The footage went viral and sparked an outrage. Well, no shit, because you shouldn't be calling people that. I mean, how silly is this in regards of you thought that was okay? You are an educator and someone who is supposed to be, showing people how to do things. And that's what you came up with? Crazy. Just crazy just in regards on how you thought that was okay. Let's continue talking real quick about some other things that are going on inside of this world real quick. If you're looking at let's see, it's some things that happened back on this date. Let's take a look at what it might have happened or did happen or didn't happen or something along those lines. So if I go back into the year, let's see. Let's go back into 2020. Pope Francis appoints 13 cardinals. One of them is Wilton Daniel Gregory, who is the first African American to be appointed. So there you go. That happened 2 years ago on this date. If you are looking at some birthdays for today, I have some of those for you. Ryan Clark turns 34. Katy Perry turns 38. Rosa Mendez turns 43. Anthony Starr, 47. Persia White turns 50. Craig Robinson turns 51. Adam Goldberg, 52. Chad Smith, 61. Nancy Cartwright, 65. That's the voice of Bart Simpson, just in case you did not know. That's what's going on the birthdays. If you're looking at a reason to celebrate today, well, it's a crisp sandwich day, World Pasta Day, National Greasy Food Day, International Artist Day, Saurus Day, and Punk for a Day Day. Yeah, Punk for a Day Day. So there you go. Interesting stuff when you really take a look and a gander at it. So there you go. If you need, let's see, if you need a random joke for today, I got one for you. If you're buying smart water for $4 a bottle, it's not working. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What's something that will always be in fashion no matter how much time passes? If you need something for the water cooler, try this. According to a survey, it takes us on average 24 minutes to do this. What is it? Get out of bed. Really? It takes you 24 minutes to get out of bed? Sorry to hear. That's for sure. Anyways, thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, I could not do what we do around here. There is no doubt about that. So thank you for hanging out. Thank you for doing what is important, and that's hanging out with me. I don't know if that's important, but thank you for always being the most important part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener. If I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. Almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a while, including you. Think about that. It's important. Anyways, if you want to come and hang out, radiobig.fm, top of the hour, I'll be going over there. I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
Something good.